college. Explore your future and now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
They've got some expected to win, but I think maybe the rules have kind of reversed this year.
I think if we limit turnovers against their 1-3-1 and we move the ball well, we've got a lot of guys that can shoot, and if we force them to stay in that zone and we shoot over the top and also penetrate in and find good looks that are inside out as well, I think we can definitely beat Emporia.
They are a good team. From last year, they did graduate their big girl from inside, so that does help us, but I think they're just a kind of a team that readjusts to what they have. A lot of our girls are aware of who they are and what they do.
I actually played there, but it wasn't like a rookie. It was during COVID, March 9th. That's where we were hosted at, not the Texas.
Monday, Tuesday, everybody's mind was in the right spot. I mean, all the receivers know I believe in them. That's just kind of how I roll.
That's going to be a point of emphasis offensively, is the route detail, that discipline aspect of it. I tell the guys all the time, you don't have to go chasing plays. Just do your job and let the play or the ball come to you. And
Kid gets the snap. He's going to throw. Eyeing down the middle. Now pressure off the edge. And drilled from behind. Ball is out. Coach with the sack. And big man running. John Jenkins is going to score.
Yeah, the excitement last night, I think that put him up like 56-7. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. The talk of the town. Welcome into the Friday show. Steve Webster, Aaron Clark, Mike Corson, and Mr. Mike Hesher here on the program today. Scoregami again.
Scoregami again.
Another thing you can track directly to climate change, Aaron Clark. That is a third scoregami that we've had this year.
It's at an unprecedented number, I believe. I don't know the last time we've had 3 scoregamis broken in 1 year. I'm gonna have to look into it. I think this might be the first one with an interim head coach.
Yeah, 63-21. Anyway, welcome to the program today. Jeremy Combs is going to join us. We'll kind of wrap up the first semester of Barton basketball. Not a bad run. They head to the break, ranked 10th in the country. Connor Nick will be on. We'll kind of have an overview of, the first half of the high school basketball season. There's teams playing deep into next week. I mean, Great Bend plays at Bueller, and then I think that TMP plays next Friday.
That's what I was going to say. I thought there was another team in the area that was even playing a week from now. I didn't know they were allowed to. I thought they kind of had to take a break a little sooner than that.
Well, they do, but I kind of like going a little bit deeper, right?
I don't mind. You're never going to hear me complain about going to do a basketball game.
Oh, you will me.
Well,
this is like your 2 weeks.
This isn't about the announcer getting rusty over the
that's the big thing. You sit down too long during the Christmas break, and all of a sudden you can't remember all the words for fast break and transition pass and everything. You got to come shake the rust off.
I was thinking more of the basketball players, but that's all. That's all right. It's weird. Yeah, basketball season's so disjointed.
It's just the big.
Because then you come back and you play 2 weeks, and then you got tournament week. Basketball season, really, I just think it starts like in February because everybody's playing league games and everything. Anyway, that's what's on the show. Oh, Aaron Clark. We're going to break down tonight's Emporia Panther game, and then he's going to get on the road and leave. And he's going to Emporia. No problem.
Gonna get there easy going.
This is a familiar trip.
Yeah, straight through McPherson.
Well, and if you know a little thing about going through McPherson, you know you can avoid that main strip, avoid all the stoplights. You go around onto a little side street. It takes you around McPherson, spits you out on the other end. Takes about 10 minutes off your trip.
I think he's talking about the spur.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But you turn left though.
I turn left when I'm coming into Emporia from Great Bend. Yeah, or into McPherson from Great Bend, rather.
Yeah.
Turn left, head down to I think it's
really
Centennial Street or maybe First Street.
Aaron
and then,
Clark giving direction.
Oh yeah. Oh hey man, if it's a trip I'm familiar with, I can dice it out there.
Okay, Mike Hesher has been busy. Doing his bowl pick'em. How's it going over there?
100% accuracy as of right now. After they play the games, I'll be about 2%. I will get the award.
Sports Day trophies up for grabs. Now, people, it's just the Sports Day competitors that can win this, okay? The other people that go to GreatBendPost.com now can win a 50-inch HD television for HB Communications.
Imagine winning a 50-inch TV rather than our little trophy, suckers.
Yeah. If you want to trade after I win the trophy, we can talk.
Okay, so go to GreatBendPost.com. Our bowl games start tomorrow. So we'll give you an early scouting report with Aaron Clark here. So the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Georgia Southern against Ohio.
Taking a look at what our voters think, they kind of disagree with the Vegas odds on it. Vegas has Georgia Southern as 3.5-point favorites, but 62% of our players, they think the Ohio Bobcats are going to come out on top.
See, and I think they're confused. I think they thought it was Ohio State.
The New Orleans Bowl. Now, Myrtle Beach Bowl rolls at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Then we bring you the New Orleans Bowl, Jacksonville State against Louisiana. Aaron?
It's the same thing. Vegas has Jacksonville State by 2.5 points, but our voters, they think 60% of them are picking Louisiana to pull the upset.
Which begs the question, how many times did Lashley pick?
I was going to say, that was my thought, too. There's nothing but Lashley people in this competition. And then the L.A. Bowl, UCLA against Boise State. That'll roll tomorrow night on KVGB at about 6.
It's the one that Vegas thinks UCLA has the biggest advantage. They have 4.5-point favorites over Boise State, but our voters, they still have the underdog coming up. They're taking Boise State 53%. It's the closest matchup we have of our first 3 bowls, but we are picking 3 underdogs from the public for our College Bowl pick'em.
Okay. So there you go. You got to get a head start on it. So good luck. Get in there right now. I mean, there's what do we got? Just 65 or 70 folks?
Yeah, right. Hovering right around that 60, 65 mark. So, I mean, pretty good odds if you're trying to win a TV because you got to think at least 4 of those are sitting here. So that knocks it down a little bit for you. That knocks it down because obviously us 4 can't win. We're competing for the real prize.
Yes, darn right. Darn right. Okay. Let's get sounds the past 24 hours here. Kyle Cree knows his team will face a stout Spartan defense tonight. Parker Dick sounded like a coach when he was in here yesterday. 2 straight games in double figures. We'll talk more about Parker coming up later in the show. Parker wants to see the offense execute on the court tonight. He thinks they can get a win. Pre-game tonight for the doubleheader on B1043, the point 545 for the girls, boys to follow.
And there's an Ian Premer kind of highlight video kicking around on the social medias. So if you haven't get a chance to get out and watch him play, just a few games into the season, plenty of highlights already. There's probably hasn't been this exciting of a player in a long time with that type of size and that type of ability.
What sport?
These are basketball, and there's plenty of them.
Well, if he keeps going 6'8", you can run like a deer, you know. That might
Still
not
a
be
sophomore, you could be getting up into that 6'8".
I'd like that target if I was a quarterback.
A little bit of point guard ability, a little bit of power forward.
And I don't know, like, this is just complete speculate, but you think if he's 6'8", he keeps putting on mass the way he has, that's going to be a heck of a defensive end. That'd be a lot to try to contain coming off the edge for a high school tackle. He's not too small to play. He's not too small to play defensive end. He weighs 200 pounds.
Okay, so he's going to play Division I basketball. He's going to play both ways in college. He's going to play both offense and defense.
I'm just saying, like looking at what he could. He gets up to 220. That'd be a force coming off the edge for the Panther defense.
There's no expectations on the kid, is there? Cindy Beck knows the defense will be key tonight against the Spartans. They need to get in there and turn them over a little bit and see what happens. That's kind of their game. Okay, other games tonight. Let's see. Central Plains at TMP, Ellenwood at Ellis, St. John at Kiowa County, Stafford at Maxville, the Battle of Highway 50. Kinsley at Ness City, La Crosse at Otis Bison. You can see the rest of the schedule at GreatBendPost.com. Pawnee Heights at home tonight. They take on Mineola.
And you keep forgetting Larned is hosting Haven tonight.
I was getting to that because that was a feature game.
Okay, my bad. I'll sit over and shut up like I'm supposed to. I am the Grinch. I have to wear it.
Oh, by the way, Haven plays at Larned tonight.
Really? I didn't know
Are
that.
we gonna have that one?
106.9.
With who?
The Wags.
We had 2 inches of rain this morning and won the rainfall total for night 1, but this is a weekend competition, so
He's only got one more technical to spare this year before he gets some punishment after receiving the tech this morning.
yeah, he did get a technical. He came out, he said so far, he was gloating after he dunked. We gave him a T on the AM Great Ben show this morning. Kevin McCullough, team will need to keep their composure as they take on Indiana. We'll have that game tomorrow on Hits 106.9. Or no, that's on. Yeah.
Is that on Hits or is it on KVGB? Gotta check our sources here.
I don't know, but it's way more dramatic with that music playing. Don't turn it off.
Help us get through this. Okay. Anyway, it's going to be on the radio tomorrow. Don't look at Great Bend Post because that's where it's at, and that's probably the wrong thing on there. It's on Hits 106.9 tomorrow. There's a lot of games going on right now. K-State, by the way, they will take on Nebraska. Huskers coming off a big win last weekend. They won against Michigan State. Okay.
Nebraska, not just a volleyball school.
Yeah, they're playing for the national championship again. All the sides of my family, son-in-law, that's what they get excited about now. Not the Nebraska Husker football program, but they'll all be circled around out in Whoville watching the national championship volleyball game as they take on Texas.
It just matters more in Nebraska.
Okay, Patrick Mahomes has complete confidence in the Kansas City pass catchers. When he said that, did his nose grow at all?
Well, you got to think he's probably gotten pretty good at trying to hold back a clenched fist or something while he's having to do this, not say it through gritted teeth, talking about his receivers at this point. But I don't know, at this point, just week after week having to answer questions about how are your receivers doing this week, it's got to be getting old.
Yeah, well, that's a big game. 11 o'clock coverage on B1043, The Point Sunday, Chiefs and Patriots. Doug Peterson, Jacksonville. They play the Ravens prime time on Sunday. Want some mistakes to stay in practice. So one of those teams that's in the running for playoff jockeying in the AFC. And, I had my sheet out, and I didn't have Buffalo on there. They host Dallas Sunday, and then they close at the Chargers, home against New England, and at Miami.
That's for a team in must-win games at this point, really to have a shot at making the playoffs. That's a tough schedule.
Fear the horns. And in the NFL last night, Malcolm, what is that, Kuntz sacks Easton Stick. Easton Stick is now the Chargers quarterback. Yeah. Ran it back 44 yards, put the Raiders up 56-7. They win 63-21 for another
scoregami. I believe that's the 1,083rd unique NFL scoring combo.
And the third this year?
The third this year. I cannot. I'm gonna have to look into.
In weather history, anytime there are more than 3 scoregamis in one season, it means a very wet winter.
We'll have to look into that. See what it means. We might be in for a monsoon season in the winter. Who knows?
Kind of reminds me of the porigami we have right now.
Great Bend Wrestling. We need to get going here today. Talk about a guy that's pretty talented. Trenton Kern.
Ouch.
Oof.
I thought that was a body slam, but I'm not a wrestler, so.
And I think probably the funniest part is we were kind of talking about was the Dodge City kid able to get up after Kern executed what is either a body slam or just a textbook double leg takedown.
It was a double leg takedown because he won the match after that kid got his win back, right?
Because the kid was like the start of the match was about 10 seconds, and then the total time on the match is about 47 seconds. And so Kern scooped him up, slammed him down like that, and then was like, all right, about 30 seconds now, and I'll pin you. You got to imagine he was just toying with him for that 30 seconds.
And the funnest thing is that's a 190-pound kid that he did that to.
And it's it's wild because that's 190 pounds, probably at least at Trenton Kern's shoulder level. Like Trenton picking up 190 pounds gets it to shoulder levels.
And just to think, Corson said he has a cauliflower ear.
That's impressive. I'm going to maintain my crazy remark because I don't think you can do that to a 190-pound wrestler if you don't have just a little bit of crazy in you.
Where are you at, Corson? Come out. Come out and get your whooping.
He's just, we thought he was going to tackle a Hesher in the fall. Now he's going to hit a double leg takedown on Corson in the winter. I don't know. He's going to hit.
I don't know. He's
going to swing a baseball bat at me or something in the spring.
He's
not against that. So yeah, Panthers are ranked number 5, and they had that 4th place finish, but that was a crazy tournament, Wichita area. So that Dodge City number 8 and 6A, they were able to beat them in the duel last night. Girls got beat, but Dodge City's ranked number 1. Big story, Daisy Gomez was 0-14 against De La Rosa. Got the pin last night. So now it's got to be a mental hurdle, so hopefully that is... And she almost did it at regionals last year. That was a 1-point match that she got called out of bounds right when she's getting ready to pin. Kind of controversial. So she's been close, but she's actually done it now. It's all past now.
Congratulations to Daisy. Great celebration after that pin happened last night. Okay, Sports Day. Jeremy Combs joining us next. Let's see. Connor Nichols on, and then you're sticking around before you hit the road, right? Okay, all right. Very good. It's Sports Day here on KVGB.
It's another instant finalist day today in the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer, whatever it takes. Drop by Bauer Computers at 10th and Jackson in Great Bend today before 5 p.m. Get your name in the box. You could be our next instant finalist and in that grand prize drawing this Saturday. Yeah, someone's going to win $10,000. And check out some of the great deals just in time for Christmas. Check out this one. You can receive 40% off on all pre-owned laptops. That is a steal of a deal. Come in and check those out. If you have a cracked screen on your phone, Chase can repair most models on the spot. Don't forget to ask about a screen protector too. If you're having trouble with your laptop or desktop, Chase can diagnose those issues as well. It's your technology headquarters. Remember, you have till 5 p.m. today to stop in and get signed up in the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer, whatever it takes. Good luck.
Love your phone but tired of your current provider? Bring your device to Next Tech Wireless and experience wireless built by Kansans for Kansans. For a limited time, get 4 lines with unlimited data for $100. Have questions? Call or text our local customer care team at 877-621-2600. Next Tech Wireless. Home on the range.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician program. Gain the skills you need to assist pharmacists with the day-to-day demands of a pharmacy. Classes are 100% online and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at pharmtech.bartonccc.edu.
It's time to talk Barton Cougar basketball with the head coach, Jeremy Combs, on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day. Head coach Jeremy Combs joins us here on the program. His team on break now as they head to, coming off a win last Saturday, going to Liberal, knocking off Seward, 69-53, led by 20 at halftime. Seems like your team wasn't thinking too much about the break. Didn't seem like going on the road to Seward and get an easy win like that.
Yeah, no, I thought we were locked in. We were pretty focused. Got over there and guys got them some food and then sat and watched the girls' game. And the girls played really well as well. And then our guys went out there and defended probably the best we've defended all year long in that first half. That second half we didn't defend as well, but that first half we really sat down and shut them down. They had 15 points in the first half. I just thought every probably aspect of our defense was great, and we were rebounding it really well, contesting all shots, and our communication was really good. So I was really pleased with that.
So was the baseball team there?
They were not there, and that's good because that's a place that you go on the road.
Baseball
and
team's rude.
They get after it. So it's a pretty cool deal to go down there and play. I like it, but it is a little distracting to the players. But we've been really good on the road. We go up to Butler and football team was going crazy. So we've just been doing really well with it.
I still remember the game. Craig Fletchall was at Liberal, and the baseball team was down there, and Fletch, they went out and got something to eat, but Fletch had a white pullover sweater, and he had some gravy on the thing, and they just let him have it the whole time.
After it, yeah.
So what makes a place tough to play in the Jayhawk Conference? Is the crowd? Is it the environment? I mean,
it's a little bit of everything.
And probably the team you're playing is a big thing.
But I think every place is a little different. You have some gyms that are shooters gyms. You have some gyms that aren't. I know going over to play at Butler, it's different because they have different rims. They've got these rims, and then the backboards hang down, 6 inches, which is different than what anybody else has. So for some reason, the guys look at that and they go, "Well, are these rims high enough? Or what are they?" And so as soon as they start doing that, I'm just starting to shake my head because I know they're thinking about, oh, this rim's short, I'm going to change my shot or whatever. But yeah, just, different environments, just, the backdrop. And then, of course, like you said, the student sections and things like that.
Seward always they always had tight rims.
Yep. And they do.
They still do.
They still do. Yep. So, I mean, I think we've probably got the softest rims in the conference, Ours is a shooter's gym. I think people come in, we shoot pretty well, but other teams can come in and really shoot it well in our gym as well.
Isn't there an international rule of how tight you put the rims?
You'd be amazed. There's some places, I remember, I think it's, what was it? I think it was West Plains maybe. That feels like the first half the rim's high, the second half the rim's a little low, just things like that. Or I think the one rim would be the south side was really soft, and that's the one that, they got to shoot on in the second half. So it's
they've got some guy over there just rolling the thing down like
make it different.
Pratt always had tight rims. They still tight? Yeah.
Well, they're a little better now. I
Okay.
think when Trevor. Before he left, he had the rims switched out, so
okay.
They're a little bit better now.
All right, Jeremy Combs with us right now. So I was interested to go on the road, and obviously if you're facing a really good team on their home court, it makes it a lot more difficult. Okay, you head to the break, Coach, and 12-1, 6-1 in conference. I guess other than being undefeated at the break, this got to be a pretty good start to this season.
Yeah, no, I think we did a really nice job. I think the conference is going to be tough, as we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't expect, to continue, to run through this thing with not saying ease, but every game is going to count, and we've got to be focused on it. But I think the first half we did a really good job.
What have you liked, and what are some things that you still want to tweak and need to get a little bit better?
We're talented. We can get away with a lot of stuff. I want to, coach them up a little bit better. I'd love to see our execution be better. I think if we can take the talent and everything we're doing right now and execute a little bit more, we're going to see some more offensive production. Right now we're living a lot off of our defense, getting steals, getting out in transition, things like that. But I'd like to see us in the half court being able to execute a little bit better and getting easy buckets. And we will. We haven't hardly put in anything yet. We'll start putting in some of my different plays that we like to run, and once we do that, I think we'll score a little bit easier.
So you kind of sprinkle that in as you go through the season?
Yeah. Okay. You get these kids, and we're just trying to make sure we're sharing the ball, we're moving the basketball, different things like taking great shots, and then once we get to do those things, then we'll start putting in some little different plays. A lot of our plays right now are really simple plays: ball screen, roll to the basket, get downhill, let's go, that type of stuff. But we'll put some more complex stuff in, second semester.
Yeah, you don't come down like the second game of the season, they're calling play 13, play 13. Yeah, it probably doesn't work quite as well. So everybody, has maybe a recipe box, right? Inbounds plays, little things that you have. How often do you go through your recipe box and update it, or maybe, we're going to take that, I will put it in the archive section.
So we like to, before every game, we do put in a new out-of-bounds play. And maybe it's based on what we feel like will work against that particular team, or how they defend out of bounds, things like that. So, if it's a team that's zoning, we may throw in some type of zone out of bounds play that we can get an easy bucket off of. But we always have our our bread and butter that we can always go back to, that we feel really good. And then some plays that we don't like, we'll take those out, and you probably won't see them again the rest of the season.
Have you ever designed a play that you saw all of a sudden show up over here, show up over there, and one that you designed?
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, it's based on kind of how they defend things. And so if you see what they're doing to other teams, then you can kind of put your touches on it, and based on your personnel too, because just because somebody else runs it, like Bill Self runs a play for KU, that doesn't mean that we can execute that play as well, just because he may have different personnel than what we're looking at. So, we tweak things a little bit, but we do see those things and try to put those in.
Those intangible things, press breaks, things like that. Are those the things you try to throw that you add a little bit? Of course, it depends on who you're playing, I guess, too.
Yeah, it does. And but I'm really lucky. I've got a good team that I don't worry about presses. I mean, we put in, we have kind of a basic what we want to do. Want to get a guy here, get a guy there. We're looking up sideline or whatever it may be. But I've got having Mose, he can break a press on his own. Dre Kendall, another kid that can just probably dribble through it if he wanted to. So I don't really worry too much about us getting pressed and trapped and things like that. We're good enough basketball players. We kind of put that together. When we knew what we were going to have to go up against, all these guys that are pressing, whether it's Garden City, Hutch's press, we wanted to make sure we had the right personnel to be able to, handle those things.
Okay, so how do you handle the break now?
Well, the guys are getting workouts every day sent to them. Hopefully they're doing them. Obviously we're not there, so we can't, have our thumb on them and making sure they're doing it. But I think that, for the most part, we've got guys that like to be in the gym a little bit. And so I think they'll do that. So they're hitting the weights. We send some treadmill workouts so that they're running a little bit. And then they're getting in the gym and sending us some stuff that they're doing as well as far as shooting. And then as far as our coaching staff, we're out recruiting. We're just trying to get everything going. You kind of think it's a break right now, but this is kind of where we're piecing everything together. We're going through and looking at our grades and where kids are at academically for graduation and things like that. And, kind of gives you a little bit of time to do some honeydews, for a couple of weeks and things like that. And so that's kind of what we're doing. But, we really don't get a break just because we're trying to get through the recruiting stuff and try to identify some kids and do some stuff like that we can't normally do during the season when we're playing.
Okay, Coach. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Talk to you in 2024.
Sounds good.
Jeremy Combs with us here on Sports Day. Connor Nickel coming up next.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
There's nothing like ASTEM therapy. This is Tim Marcus from Progressive Physical Therapy in Hayes. Research shows that ASTEM therapy improves muscle performance and neural functioning. It's highly effective for those dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, sports injuries, and general aches and pains.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
It's Friday, and that means game day in the Golden Belt. To help us prime the pump, Sports Day brings you Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel.
Connor Nickel with us here on a rainy Friday, and it is a nice rain here throughout the Golden Belt, so everybody's feeling good. Connor Nickel's feeling good, heading into the holidays. A lot of basketball to talk about. And I will just shoot it out to you, Connor Nickel. Where do you want to begin today as we kind of looking back first semester of high school basketball? Where do you want to start today?
Certainly. The Hoisington girls, for sure, last year, 13-9, probably overachieved based upon their schedule and, obviously being very non-senior heavy in several spots. That team last year was just a collective effort. No one averaged 10-plus points per game. In fact, Kylie Hahn was the only one over 9. And, they averaged 39 points per game as a team. This year, early returns have been amazing. 58 points a contest. First-year coach. She had coached the Osborne team the last several years and won a number of games, and they were known for putting up big points. And so, Kylie's 12-plus points per game. Crawford has more than doubled her output from last year, 5 last year and well over 10 this year. And, of course, Jordan Boxberger, a very consistent player again. You go on down. They've got a lot of quality depth. This is obviously a very high expectation season for the Cardinals. They've been off to a really good start.
I guess for Hoisington right now, and they're not in the top 10 in the KW or the KBCA this week, but I guess we'll find out 1st of January. Man, they come right out. They get the H teams. They get a Haven. They get Heston. The Hillsborough will be in there. So some big challenges in the CKL for Hoiston. We'll find out.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The Hoisington schedule thus far, they have done what they are supposed to do against who they have played. And you can only control who you can't control who you play. But they've been super impressive. But yeah, you're exactly right. Haven is a really good team. Heston's got the Kendall Brueggemann, who's been offered by Division I programs. So yeah, we're going to see where Hoisington stacks up really quickly. But thus far, it's been a really impressive start.
Okay, Great Bend heads to Emporia tonight to take on the Spartans, a team they beat by 1 in Great Bend a year ago. Fabulous basketball game. This time it's in Emporia, and man, the Panthers, a 14-point lead over Junction City. It whittled down. They ended up losing in overtime, and they have a win over Sunrise Christian. So I think that's a statement game tonight for the Panthers. Go on the road and beat Emporia, who's 4-1.
Yeah, really important game, I think, for both Great Bend teams. You're exactly right. Great Bend boys have just put up offensive numbers that are just amazing so far. This year, 63, 81, 71. Just numbers in that ilk this season. What a huge start. Great Bend girls, 4-1 start. Obviously, at Emporia was, of course, 21-4 last year. Great Bend girls just lost so many close games last year, and that they lost this game by 6. This is one of those games before Christmas that can a momentum game that can carry you forward for quite some time. I've always thought, I've had coaches tell me this, that the last game before Christmas, no matter who you face, can be super important because that's your last film, that's your last result for a while. And obviously facing such a quality road test tonight, this could be a really big game for both teams.
Connor Nickel with us here on Sports Day. What kind of buzz is Ian Premer getting around the state? As you talked to a lot of different people, but obviously after a great start, he's been over 20 points in 4 of the 5 games, dominant performances. What kind of buzz is he creating as a sophomore around Kansas?
Yeah, this guy is really well known. He was creating it last year too, and I've got some data on this going back probably 10+ years. But when a freshman plays and contributes at the boys or girls level, and no matter what sport, those players end up being elite players when they are, juniors and seniors. The players that are consensusly well known throughout Kansas. And I think Premer is definitely in that conversation. He opened so many eyes last year, and then certainly his fall season too. Him and obviously the sophomore quarterback too for Great Bend, and then even Cooper in the fall being a great freshman. Great Bend is extremely well known right now for how far they have come. And I think a lot of eyes are on them. A lot of people are seeing, okay, how do they match up against, a quality WAC team or a quality team such as Emporia tonight? I think those quality wins will really elevate Premer even more, and also just the team overall.
Connor Nickel with us. Okay, La Crosse Leopards, they were unbeaten until they ran into Dighton on Tuesday night, and Dighton kind of handled them pretty easily. Dighton, that one thing it says to me, Dighton must be really, really good, but La Crosse is off to a nice start trying to match what they accomplished a year ago and get into the state tournament.
Yeah, let's look at this through on really two different prisms here. What La Crosse did against Mineola a couple of days ago, they win 85-30. The sophomore Lee Holoparik has 36 points. Great game. What La Crosse does, and Coach Schmidt has made this the foundation of the programs. He goes, we are going to play at an incredibly fast pace because our athletes are better than yours. And he and I talked about this quite a bit last year. Of course, they go to state for the first time in 30 years last season. And the pace they play at is just remarkably fast. Now, against teams like a Maxville last year, they struggled with turnovers and just making shots and doing some of those things because Maxville had just had better basketball players than really anybody they faced. But what La Crosse has this year is I think they've got better basketball players to go along with that pace. So you're going to see games where they're going to score 70-plus points. They really enjoy the style a lot. Now, on the flip side, if they don't shoot it well, and if the other team, is really, really good, you could see some losses too. But I've had somebody tell me in La Crosse this year of, hey, essentially, we lost to Maxville at state last year. Maxville won state. We bring back most of our players. We should be playing on the final day in March this season. Now, Dighton is really good. Obviously, Carson Scheimer, the quarterback, 6'4", very smooth player. He missed most of the fall. Dighton's still a quarterfinal team. Him and Kramer's an elite player. They combined for 41 points. Dighton also won the Quinter Council Rock Classic. They beat a quality Quinter team in the final, which, of course, to kind of bring it all around here, La Crosse and Quinter boys played that great sub-state championship game last season, and Quinter returns several of their key players, too. Overall, I think that Dighton has opened several eyes and is probably, a legitimate state championship caliber team. But what Coach Schmidt has done for La Crosse, too, has been a really, really impressive start.
Connor, Central Plains boys and girls play at TMP tonight. What are you looking for in those two matchups?
Yeah, this is a game that TMP is really excited about. We completed our junior high season last night. TMP junior high girls, we went 30-3 this year, the best overall record in the Mid-Continent League. And I want to give a shout out because Coach Rachel Lamash, she was one of my assistant coaches. She did an incredible job. Obviously a great Central Plains player, and she'll be coaching tonight against her sister. And so kind of a neat matchup there. They've asked us as junior high coaches, we've got some high school rules as well too. Again, the whole thing with CP is how healthy can they be? This is a team that I think has got to take the long-range thinking on this of where are we going to be in, say, 2 months. TMP has played much better on defense the last several games. They beat a very good Oakley team on the road earlier this week. Brooke Kinningsman is an exceptional player, shooting 39% on threes for TMP. Top scorer, leads in multiple categories as well. TMP has no seniors. They have 2 freshmen who will play. But yeah, Coach McFarland's done a great job with a very, very young TMP team.
Speaking of the TMP boys, of course they take on Central Plains, but you think that next week the Mid-Continent League title will be decided?
Yeah. I mean, I think that Hoxie, Smith Center, and TMP are definitely your top 3 MCL girls teams, and I think Oakley and Norton are probably 4 and 5. But yeah, TMP plays Hoxie at home next week, and that's going to be a huge matchup. I mean, Hoxie girls have been incredibly impressive so far. That game will be here in Hayes and will determine a lot. TMP boys have only had 1 win so far. They've played multiple 5A and bigger teams this season. Obviously, them and Great Bend will see each other as we go. TMP is on the boys' side. They graduated a bunch. I mean, they just graduated a lot of production from last year. 2 exceptional players in Kate Harris and Worth. And they're just having some growing pains, just trying to figure out several pieces so far.
Okay, I'm curious about games tomorrow in the Western Athletic Conference on the boys. You've got Dodge City at Northwest, Liberal at Wichita South, Hayes at Wichita Heights. Kind of a whack look tomorrow against teams from the Wichita City League.
Yeah, and the Hayes Heights game is one that I've really circled. I mean, we've talked about this. Heights boys might be the best team in Kansas. Heights girls are really good. They got a couple of transfers. There was a number of moving and shaking among key Wichita girls players switching schools this offseason, even more than what there normally is. And Heights ended up kind of on the positive side of that, shall we say. And so really interesting to see how these matchups go. You talk about the last game before Christmas. I go back to this game last year. A very young Hayes High boys team beat Southeast, and the Hayes High boys carried that through to WAC, and you saw them obviously beat Great Bend in a couple of really close games. A lot of that stemmed from this contest last year. They felt like Southeast was a very quality team to beat them on the road, and that really propelled them, going onward. I'm going to be really interested to see how the WAC does. Results for the WAC have been pretty strong so far this season, but they've had trouble winning road games and winning some of these games. So we're just going to see how it all goes.
Okay, I'm going to change gears on you because you covered more than obviously basketball on Sunflower Sports Solutions. Any big storylines? In high school wrestling right now, besides Hoxie isn't any good anymore. But other than Hoxie, what stood out for you so far in this wrestling season?
Well, actually the big side-along news that came out of wrestling this week was the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah.
Some may have heard about this, but the Shrine Bowl wrestling duels, people have been super excited about that. There's also been some questions on how our team is going to be picked, who's going to be doing what. Kind of the big thing that affects the Golden Belt for sure is you're going to have this log jam potentially at 3-2-1A at 138 on the boys' side, because you're going to have the Ball boy from Hoisington, the Oaks boy from Hoxie, and Ellis's Mason Younger, who, of course, won a state championship last year. All three of those, I mean, are uber elite wrestlers. And there was some consternation, and then you throw in the Keaton boy from Peaburg. So you've got 4 kids that maybe 1 through 4 at state. Well, Mason Younger has actually elected to wrestle up. So he has declared, shall we say, that 144 will be his weight class this year, which may eliminate some of this logjam because, I mean, 138 could have been incredibly stacked, and now this allows, honestly, maybe somebody else from the Golden Belt or from the Northwest Kansas area to win a state championship because it was just going to be just super, super close. But, yeah, Mason had the great season for Ellis in the fall, first team All-State, 1A for receiver. He's put on some some weight, and he'll go up a class.
Okay, Connor, it's been a great first half of a regular season for Sunflower Sports Solutions, and people can get more by going to the site. There's all kinds of things. How can people access your information nuggets?
Certainly, yes. So Sunflower Sports Solutions, we're online, Facebook, Twitter. We've got our site as well, too. One thing that I did want to mention here, Steve, that we're going to do here is I'm going to kind of do some, shall we say, end of the season stories. There's been a number of stories that, for whatever reason, some of them involving more Golden Belt teams, some of them involving not, that I think just involve a deeper dive. And so we're going to kind of make it a Christmas special, shall we say. And there's a number of pieces that are going to come out here. I'm going to have something on Hoisington. I'm going to have something on South Central. I've got about 6 or 7 pieces that are going to actually touch on several sports that I'm going to have out that I think will be kind of a neat look for people to read over Christmas where there aren't any games going on. I did this a little bit last year, and actually the reception was great. We're also going to have final team stats for all classes for the fallout. That's a project that takes quite a bit of time, quite honestly, but people really enjoy it a lot. So stay tuned because sometimes when there's no games, we can actually produce more content.
You love numbers, don't you?
I do, yes.
Connor, we will talk to you next week, and we'll kind of preview some of those things that are already up on Sunflower Sports Solutions or will be coming, so we can chat some about that next week.
Hey, certainly, Steve-O. As always, sir, I appreciate it.
Hey, congratulations, Coach, on your title, too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Connor Nickley does it all. He writes about it, he talks about it, and he coaches it. With us here on Sports Tape. Our show brought to you in part by Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine. Get your life back. And at Next Tech Wireless. Experience wireless built by Kansans for Kansas. And by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend.
From the Mayo Valley Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Wrapping our week up on a Friday. Sports Day brought to you in part by Equity Bank. More than 40 locations throughout Kansas, including Great Bend, Larned, Maxville, St. John, EquityBank.com, and the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend. Okay, we're going to get him before he leaves and heads to Emporia. Aaron Clark joins us here toward the end of the show here today. Okay, this is one trip we don't worry about you getting lost. You're going to Emporia, right?
The Panther faithful don't have to worry about me not making it, ending up in the David Traylor Zoo there in Emporia. I'll be at at the high school, knowing where to go, ready to broadcast some games.
Okay, Panther boys tonight taking on a 4-1 Emporia team. This was a fabulous game a year ago. Kind of a coming out party for the Great Bend Panthers at the time. And, okay, and this game's on the road. Kyle Kreese saying, yeah, probably we'd be the favored team going in. So this is one, get it under your – I mean, Connor Nichols said earlier just a few minutes ago that this last game of the first semester can go a long way. And I think that's the case tonight, don't you?
Absolutely. Panthers, like you said, kind of had their coming out party last year. They beat a good Emporia squad last year who I think was expected to come in and maybe not roll Great Bend maybe not expected to roll Great Bend. In this studio, we kind of had an idea of what Great Bend had, but at least throughout the state, I think people weren't quite aware of what Great Bend was yet, and they were able to squeak out that 1-point win, and a lot of talent comes back. Obviously, Ian Premer been dominant for Great Bend, but a lot of the auxiliaries, some of the secondary scores for the Panthers have really started stepping up. You got a guy like Parker Dix. He's coming off of 2 games in double figures for Great Bend, and his outside shooting, it's been pretty hot for Great Bend. I'm pretty sure he's hitting 50% of his shots from behind the arc.
I think, and we talked to him on the show this week, yesterday. The thing I like, when you get labeled and pigeonholed as a three-point shooter, it's like, okay, well, I'm a three-point shooter. I've got to get three-point shots off. But the thing that Parker Dix has done this year, it's when his shot comes, he takes it. But he's doing so many other things on this team. This has been a big bonus for the Panthers, is the emergence of Parker Dix.
Watching him work as the point guard, the ball dominant guard for Great Bend, it's fun to see because, like you said, he's very willing, very capable of taking that outside shot, but by no means is he forcing it. He's still working the ball around, working the ball into teammates who he not only knows and trusts, but knows there's some pretty talented cats on this Panther team that he can share the ball around, move it around, spread the wealth, picks up assists as well as scoring. Very fun watching Parker in his first real starting season, getting that varsity time, and he's showing Coach Cree he's got what it takes.
Yeah, personally, it doesn't matter what the radio guy says, but I like Carter Combs off the ball. So,
and another one, his shooting's also been pretty good this year, and I don't know if it's because he's had more of those off-ball opportunities, but he's slippery when maybe the top ball-dominant defender can't be guarding him. He's hard to keep track of.
He moves
can slip
well
away
without the ball. Yeah,
his off-ball movement very good at setting himself up to capitalize on those outside shots.
Isaiah Reed comes off. I mean, he's probably not going to be the. I mean, what he played the other night, 13 minutes against Larned. I think you'll probably see him like 8 or 9 right now. But man, when you can have those guys spell him, I mean, I want to see what he does tonight and see if he can just keep that going.
I think a big thing with Isaiah coming off the bench is you don't lose any of the starter mentality. Sometimes when you have a guy come off the bench, he just plays a little more hesitantly with a little less freedom. That's not the case at all with Isaiah Reed. He goes out there with a lot of energy, keeps it up, and almost acts as a spark plug for Great Bend, can just really boost them when they need a moment. He's diving on the floor. He's going after those loose balls. He's doing the things you want him to do on defense, working on the glass. Even though he's not maybe the biggest guy, he's still bumping down low, and he's able to haul down some rebounds.
Okay, girls tonight, they've got a tough challenge against a state-ranked Emporia team. And again, we've talked about it. The storyline's been the same. Okay, can we get other scoring from other players? And can they win close games? I don't know if they'll win tonight. I don't know if it's going to be a defining moment for their season. But I'd like to see that continued improvement. It'd be nice for them to get to 5-1.
Absolutely. And like you said, it's been fun to see Great Bend, the Lady Panthers, step up with the scoring outside of Sadie Spray. We've had a couple games where different girls step up. But just the overall level of scoring, like in all the games this season, there's been another girl scoring close to double figures or in double figures. However, there's also been a solid level of other scores, maybe putting up close to 5 points. Jillian Reimers a couple of times had 7 points off of some nice backdoor cuts, really being aggressive towards the ball. And then Mackenzie Premer didn't have any points against Larned. Stuff in the stat sheet in other ways, though. She had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. So Premer not necessarily hitting the scoring column last game, but doing a lot for the Great Bend Lady Panthers efforts. And she does a lot setting her teammates up in general, whether it's being that top of the press on defense or with her passing, send teammates up with easy shots.
we keep track of three-point shots, and I think last year it was kind of an issue with Carter Combs. He got such a bad start, and then you start pressing a little bit. Golly, I'm 2 for, you can't throw it all out. Kenzie was like that last year. It took her a long time just to hit her first three-point shot. Kind of started that way this year. And it'd be nice to see her just knock down 2 or 3, get that confidence going, because that would be a big weapon for the Lady Panthers going forward.
And her three-point shot hasn't been there quite yet this season, kind of like you said, off to a slow start there. But her touch from the baseline, some of the, maybe taking 2 or 3 steps inside the line, just right there down on the baseline from the corner, she's hit some pretty nice shots. I'd be expecting to see her put up more points tonight, but even if she doesn't, like I said, she's putting up 4 assists, 3 steals, really impacting the game when you're putting up those kind of tertiary stats, maybe not the most glorious stats, but doing a lot for Great Bend and a lot for what they do on the defensive end, being the top of that press.
Okay, 5:45 tonight, B104.3 The Point. Is Corky the Hornet going to be there to welcome their Emporia State alum back to Emporia tonight? Or is there going to be any festivities or pomp and circumstance?
I'll have to reach out to the Emporia State AD. He's not the same one that was there when I was. It's not Ken Weiser anymore. So I'll have to reach out to the new guy and be like, can we just get one appearance from Corky? Maybe I can interview him at the halftime show of the boys' game.
Corky doesn't talk. Besides, he's got that light on his tail. It'd probably short circuit.
It's a stinger. He's not a lightning bug. He's a hornet. He's got a stinger on the end of his tail.
Does it light up?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I've never seen it light up.
All right, Stingers down, Panthers up tonight. Go get them, Aaron.
Absolutely, Panthers up.
Aaron Clark with us here on Sports Day. Panthers on the air tonight. Of course, we have Larned taking on Haven tonight on Hits 106.9. Also, coverage at 5:45. Sports Day brought to you in part by Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country, and in part by Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor, shop local when you can. More Sports Day after this.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Amy Herrera, Regional Retail Manager for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many people navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how we're committed to serving you in our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Wrapping up another week of Sports Day here. And appreciate everybody who came on the show this week. Appreciate you for listening. Don't forget tonight, high school basketball on Hits 106.9. Haven and Larned, Gary Wagner, and the Honorable Buddy Tabler on the call, 5:45. Aaron Clark will have Panther basketball for you. Big one tonight for both boys and girls. Panthers at Emporia, 5:45 on B104.3 The Point. 3 bowl games tomorrow, starting at 9:30 in the morning. Get your entries in to the Bowl Pick'em on GreatBendPost.com before those games start tomorrow. And KU basketball, they take on Indiana tomorrow, 11:30 start on Hits 106.9. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back here Monday on KVGB.